All right, episode 32 in the books. Mary Petruzzi, one of the funnest last names, I think. But took a trip to Indy, and it was a fun, fast, exciting one. We could have went on for a while, just like the Indy 500. I had no idea that that thing goes for a month.
A whole month.
A whole month.
A whole month.
So you have Indy, the Indy 500 goes for a month. The NCAA basketball tournament, college, is huge there. It goes for a whole month.
Well, I mean, that's just March Madness, though, so
yeah, well,
it's March.
But on top of that, with those two events being back to back, it is a huge place for a lot of investors. I mean, so much so people leave their homes, their actual residence, and just rent them out.
Yes.
And cover their mortgage for 5-6 months.
Probably the whole year.
So, right, high demand. I guess if they go for 2 months and rent it out every day, it would pay for the whole year. But I think outside of all the awesome events, they have the #1 heart hospital. So they have interns coming from all over the place.
They are also home of the world's largest Christmas tree in the Christmas season.
I found that surprising. I thought the world's largest Christmas tree was in New York. So
that would have made sense too.
Kind of interesting, but also it has the largest, #1 most awesome kids museum. And in regards to the property values, what did you find most interesting about it?
Their property taxes are interesting. So for homeowners, for the owner-occupied, sorry, I had to get my thoughts straight there. For the owner-occupied, it's 1% tax rate for your assessed value. For non-owner-occupied, so second home, it is 2%, and for investors, it's 3%.
Yeah, the tiered aspect I thought was kind of interesting because it's a pretty good jump.
Yeah, and it's capped. Like that's just your rate. It doesn't fluctuate.
Yeah.
So that's just your rate.
They have a lot of Airbnbs out there, as you could imagine. I mean, there's not a lot of cities where events go and carry on for a month. I knew both of those things were in there in Indianapolis, but I had no idea they carried on or took it into consideration what that would do to the market out there. So, and it shows with their tax cap of 3%. So if you're an investor and you're going out there, their home prices are cheap though. $150,000 actually gets you a pretty damn good house.
Yeah.
Like you get a 3-bed, 2-bath, garage, 1/4 acre, in fairly good shape. I mean, so they have some really good prices.
Yeah, for sure.
Which would attract these investors, but had a ton of fun talking with Mary. She does a lot of lake homes. I had no idea that Indy was in and out of droughts. I thought California was the only place that had droughts. But hey, like we said, we all usually live in a bubble, which is one of the reasons this is so fun. And outside of that too, Indy was amazing. Kind of probably sent me on the biggest tailspin with what I was expecting, and I was totally wrong.
I didn't even know what to expect with Indy,
so
to be honest with you.
That was a lot. It was a good one. Also, we're going international on our first podcast. So we've been looking at with our understanding of the markets, but not fully understanding. I mean, a lot of national news, but it's been fun diving in and getting like the heads up on what's going on inventory wise, builder wise, events, what that has to offer. So we're actually taking this thing international. Because what do you know about Canada, Mexico, France, China, in regards to actually what's going on there? So I know we're going to have like a language barrier in some, so we're going to have to really figure that part out and find somebody that
can help us properly.
Can help us. And but so a lot of big things coming up. We always appreciate your guys' support. Indy was amazing. Episode 32. 32. 23. You got it going on. You're all backwards. You're backwards. But thanks for checking us out. Check out Mary Petruzzi. Indianapolis, Indiana, probably one of the easiest cities to remember. It's like living in California.
Californopolis.
Californopolis, California.
Yes.
But
ooh, we should make that a city.
it might exist. It might just be a small one that hasn't blown up yet.
Californopolis.
Californopolis. But Indianapolis, home of the Indy 500, NCAA basketball tournaments. Check it out. Ton of info. Have a great holiday weekend. Pore Team, out.